Most trading mistakes happen before the trade is placed. The chart didn't trick you. Your impulse did. That urge to enter early, the fear of missing out, that sudden confidence spike. Those are all emotional cues, not market signals. So today we install the pre-trade emotional check-in. If you have not watched episode 1, stop here and review it first. This builds layer by layer. Impulse trading often masquerades as intuition. Traders convince themselves they just feel it. But what they're feeling is urgency. And urgency is rarely aligned with structure. Acting without pause leads to poor entries, oversized risks, and emotional regret. FOMO is particularly destructive. When price runs without you, it triggers scarcity fear. You feel excluded. That exclusion feels threatening. So you chase. And chasing eliminates favorable risk to reward ratios instantly. Boredom is another hidden trigger. When markets are slow, the brain seeks stimulation. Entering marginal trades creates dopamine spikes. But stimulation is not strategy. It's entertainment disguised as productivity. Finally, ego enters the picture. Sometimes traders enter because they want to prove they're right. That mindset shift focus from discipline execution to identity validation. That shift is dangerous. When you anticipate reward, dopamine spikes in the nucleus accumbens. This motivates action. In trading, this can create premature entries. Dopamine is not logical. It is motivational. Scarcity triggers the anterior cingulate cortex, which possesses social exclusion and loss. Missing a trade can feel like rejection. That emotional discomfort pushes impulsive behavior. The prefrontal cortex, your executive function center, requires calm to operate effectively. When emotional intensity rises above moderate levels, its performance simply declines. Pausing activates parasympathetic nervous system regulation. Even brief, intentional pauses reduce amygdala activation and restore prefrontal functioning. So let's discuss the 3-question filter. Before every trade, ask yourself the following. Number 1, am I calm? Number 2, is this my setup? Number 3, would I take this trade if no one knew? If any answer is no, do not enter.
Let me pause for a second. If you're serious about improving your trading, not just watching content, but actually transforming your execution, you need to understand something. Information does not change behavior. Training does. That's exactly why I created the Trading Under Control Emotional Regulation Workbook. This isn't a cute printable. It's not fluff. It's not even motivation. It's a structured performance manual that walks you step by step through emotional intensity tracking, the 90-second reset, if-then rule installation, body regulation drills, a complete daily execution protocol. If you've ever said, I know what to do, I just don't do it consistently, this workbook is your bridge. It forces honesty. It builds discipline. It turns awareness into execution. And here's the truth. Watching this video without practicing the exercises will not rewire your nervous system, but doing the work will. So if you're ready to stop reacting and start executing like a professional, click the link in the description and download the workbook. Install the structure, because consistency is not something you feel. It's something you build. I'll see you on the inside.
Journal your emotional state before your next 5 trades. Data builds awareness. Awareness builds control. You are not trying to suppress emotion. Suppression is force. Suppression is pretending you don't fear when price drops, or pretending you're not excited when a trade runs in your favor. And the problem with suppression is that it doesn't eliminate emotion. It buries it. Buried emotion leaks out sideways. It shows up in impulsive entries, early exits, oversized positions, or silent self-criticism after the close. Suppression is pressure without release, and pressure always finds a crack. Trading does not require you to become emotionless. That's a myth. In fact, the goal is not to remove fear or excitement. Those responses are human. They are biological. They are wired into your survival system. The problem is not the presence of emotion. It is the absence of leadership over it. Emotion becomes destructive only when it is in charge. When you try to suppress fear, it grows louder. When you try to ignore urgency, it becomes more compelling. The brain interprets suppression as threat. Why are we pushing this down? Is something wrong? That internal resistance amplifies the very state you're trying to escape. This is why traders who say, "I just need to be more disciplined," often end up snapping under pressure. They are fighting themselves instead of guiding themselves. Leading emotion is different. Leading emotion means you notice it without judgment. You feel the spike in your chest. You recognize the quickened breathing. You observe the thought that says, "I need to make this back." And instead of obeying it, you slow down. You breathe. You return to structure. Leadership is calm authority over your internal state. It is not denial. It is direction. When you lead emotion, you convert raw energy into focused execution. Fear becomes caution instead of panic. Excitement becomes confidence instead of recklessness. Urgency becomes awareness instead of impulse. The same emotional energy that once sabotaged you becomes fuel, but only because you're holding the steering wheel. That is strength, not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind, the quiet kind, the kind that pauses before clicking, the kind that respects rules even when adrenaline rises, the kind that it can absorb a loss without collapsing internally. Strength in trading is not about bravado. It is about regulation. And here's the deeper truth. When you learn to lead emotion in the market, you begin to lead it everywhere. You respond differently in conflict. You tolerate uncertainty better. You make decisions with steadiness instead of urgency. Trading becomes a trading ground for emotional maturity. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming composed. And composed people execute at a higher level in markets and in real life. Now that you know how to pause before entering, what happens when you've already taken a loss? That emotional surge after a stop loss hits, that urge to make it back. In episode 3, we'll install the 90-second rule, the tool that prevents revenge trading before it destroys your account. Stay with the curriculum. You're building something real.